Say something real. Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show this morning. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. I just want to say it's a little cool this morning. it's a little chilly this morning. So if you are moving around, getting ready to go outside, I think the high today is like 72. Um, Walked back outside about 7 o'clock last night and got slapped with the cold breeze. So I'm just telling folks, it's a beautiful day, my kind of day. But and it was crazy because I was just getting ready to put up like all my sweatshirts and my hoodies and like, girl, you know you live in Wisconsin. Stop playing. But I see you out here rocking the summer wear. How you doing this morning?
Cold.
Are you?
Yeah. You know, it's cold when I got upset because you didn't turn the air
When
off.
it's cold outside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a little chilly.
You said you got upset because what?
You didn't turn the air off.
I'm sorry.
Well, you know, when you walked in, like, y'all
Didn't
got
know
the-
that in my job description.
Y'all got the air on. She was already upset anyway.
First of all,
because she had to knock this
I
morning.
don't talk like that. Let's just
Michelle,
if we could
you
just
do
if,
talk like
if
that.
we could get that established.
Kyrie, what did you hear her
I
say?
don't. I asked a simple question.
Yeah, like, y'all got the air on.
What's the smacking?
Well, you know,
there was no smacking.
You're a woman. So they always
all women smack.
preface it with a smack. Y'all got the air on. I'm like, I'm like,
and you wonder,
it was on from last
you wonder
night.
why the prayer warriors be about to put their Bibles down.
I ain't
You
scared of
wonder
them
why.
prayer warriors. I might be more scared of their prayers than their actions.
I just can't believe you lumped all women into we all smack.
All women. My mom must be smacked.
Really?
Boy, what did I tell you?
Okay.
Kyrie, does your mama smack?
His mama too young to smack. Oh, when you do dumb stuff. You know what? Now that makes sense to me. Good morning, Carvey. How are you? Like you dragging this morning back? You all right? You was on these streets last night making my money. I like that. Young brother, I'm telling you, I'm still getting over. Carvey gave me $50 to go get breakfast. Treat yourself. I was like,
wow,
my kind of brother.
Yeah, what that? He offered me some, was it squishies or what was it called? Gushers? Candy.
Dude, don't bring it back up.
I'm saying he offered me candy.
Don't bring it back up. I'm saying I like a brother who, when he say, "Hey, you mind running over to Perkins and going to pick up my breakfast for me?" First, I'm, like, do what? Getting ready to smack and have attitude. Like,
what
do
I look like? I ain't your mama.
Your mama, your woman,
right?
Sister. Like, what?
And why would I
was
be
about
doing
to
that?
be indignant when he said, "Could you go across the street and get me my breakfast?" And then
as much as you like people to believe that you got this outer shell.
Oh, here we go.
But your innermost, your heart is just a beautiful person. If you repeat it, I'll deny it.
Spare me.
But I'm serious. It really is. Because I know without him offering to buy you breakfast, you still would have been like, "Yeah, man, I got you, no problem."
Well, and I didn't, take the breakfast. I started to keep his change, but I didn't, because all women keep the change. Now that we will do. We will keep your change.
What change?
Change from your wallet to my purse.
Right.
But I just was so like, I like this young brother.
Michelle, let me tell you what happens. My wife and I both noticed it.
Okay.
We can go to the grocery store at the same time. The lady says, "Okay, $32.97 or whatever," and I hand her the money. When she gives the change, she hands it to my wife.
Yo, what did you notice? What's the observation?
Really?
That's how it's supposed to be.
You hand the money back to the person that handed you the money.
Not if you're a female cashier. If you're a male cashier, you hand the money back to the person who handed it to you. If you're a female cashier, and it clearly looks like this a husband and a wife,
yeah,
she had the money back to the wife.
Why would she do that?
Because That's.
I mean,
What
you
say,
act like that's
Carvey?
rule of thumb or something. I mean, but you act like that's rule of thumb or something.
It,
I mean,
it,
Cashier
it
101, you
is.
hand the money to
No,
whom
there
handed it
is
to you.
there is no cashier 101.
Obviously not, because
I've never.
I was like,
So
she
let me.
didn't hand you that.
And so let me say. Let me. I was going to say. So do you say something to the
Hell yeah, I
cashier?
say something.
What she say to you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she had gave. No, you didn't thought she had gave it to you. You know exactly who gave it to you and what I gave you.
Seriously, you raised a saying about some change.
I get heated, man.
It's about some
me
change.
my money. Run me my
I mean,
bread.
I can see if she tricked you for some thousands.
You
raised a
even
saying about
Michelle,
some change.
even if I take it and hand it to my wife,
no,
let me do that.
Couldn't
you
ride with
give
you.
me my money.
Couldn't ride with you. Couldn't
I don't
ride
think
with
there's
you.
a man out there with just
could not ride with you.
That could appreciate
Carvey, my kind of brother.
Carvey, you could appreciate that.
Treat yourself back.
Carvey, you telling
At
me
19,
you want somebody to hand your change
like,
back to somebody else, whether it's my wife or not.
Oh, Carvey said he wouldn't appreciate it. Not at all, brother.
That's right.
Well, again,
but it's not for her to decide who she is. She don't know who that woman is to me. We could have been arguing in the grocery store.
Well, okay.
Now you're going to hand her my bread to go with it? I got to ask her for it?
Right, what we talking about? $8? I mean, what is we talking about?
Whatever it is, Michelle. I don't care if it's 50 cents.
Down. What
Give
are we
me
talking
my
about?
change. Don't hand my change to nobody else.
What are we talking about? You said about $6.26.
You ruffled my feathers now when you told me. And what's the problem?
I don't understand. I don't. Let me be fair, because I know some bros out there like rolling their eyes right now and smacking.
We're not smacking. My brothers not smacking.
Bruh smack.
Them guys might be smacking, but the bros ain't smacking.
Let me be clear. I don't advocate, nor do I agree with people giving your money to someone who didn't hand it to them. Mm-hmm. Just for the record. Now I'm gonna stand though on nonsense and be like, I don't see the problem, but I don't agree with that. I think you give the money to who gave it to you.
Evangelist should be praying for you right now.
Well, I just said I agree.
But you're gonna stand with it.
I stand with it. I mean, I'm not offended by it. As long as it's not my money, I'm not offended by it at all.
As long as it's not yours. I hear some dinging over there. Some folks that are not agreeing with you right now.
I don't even have my phone now. My
phone
is in
dinging.
My purse.
It's dinging.
It is. It is now.
I hope that's the prayer warriors.
Now that you mention it, well, I'm gonna get into the show if that's okay with you.
That would be great. So I can calm down.
I want to say, where you get that Nike shirt from? It's kind of retro feeling.
I got a guy.
Oh, it must be bootleg. It's not real.
I got a guy.
It's not a real Nike shirt.
I got a guy.
Anytime you got a guy,
I got a guy.
It did come from the stove.
I got a guy.
Because do people still boost? I don't even know if people boost anymore.
Oh yeah, I got a guy.
Oh, really? You gonna say that over here?
No name, but I got a guy.
Because it has a retro 70-ish feel about it.
It's grown folk.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you don't want to look.
Your daddy's Nike shirt.
Really? Is that where we're going with this?
I'm just saying. You gotta
wait till I see my guy.
Tell him like, hey, bro, you selling daddy Nike gear. Okay, I'm just saying. I was just trying to ask a question. Yeah. You took it there.
Yeah. No.
But do people still like no boosters? I don't even.
Yes.
I haven't seen the
boosters.
Yes.
They're still out there.
I haven't seen a booster in years,
You're
man.
not hanging in the right places.
Because you could be in the barbershop and people will come in there and sell you meat. Like,
yeah.
And people will buy it.
I have like 5 corned beefs in the freezer right now. 5 of them.
That's why
3 of them getting cooked for the 4th.
That's why we can't have nothing open in our community, because y'all out here patronizing boosters.
So you ain't never bought nothing from a booster?
Oh, I did back in the day when I didn't know any better.
Oh, so now I don't know no better.
You know better. You choose not to do better.
Right.
I choose to do better.
$29.99 corned beef. I don't get it for $10. Yeah, bring them on.
Because I'm gonna tell you, we had a sheet guy who would come in the barbershop.
How many count?
So, first of all, I just want to say black people was getting hoodwinked on the thread count, because they'd be like, oh, it's 1,000 thread count Egyptian. But them still is the jankiest, cheapest sheets I ever seen. Like these people, I started to say something that could have been deemed racist.
Inappropriate.
Yes, but they be bamboozling our people, and they
Mhm.
see the little thing. Oh, it's 800 count. They touch them sheets. Some cheap sheets. I don't care what the packaging say. They still gonna get the balls on it, or they so thin you can see through it if you hold it up to the
If that
light.
toenail don't hit it right, you finna tear it.
That's all I'm saying. They some cheap sheet, but black people was getting on that for a minute.
Wow.
Oh, they 1,000 count, 1,500 count. Go sit down. Um, my sheets, on the other hand, from the booster at the time. Uh these sheets was like, I'm just gonna say they still had the store tags. And so you knew like these were good sheets.
Right.
I mean, still got them today.
Yeah.
These were excellent sheets. And the sheets would be
So
like,
you haven't chosen to stop using them since you know better?
well, I mean, I've already bought them now.
Oh, I was just
I've already bought them. I'm not gonna throw them out.
you're still
But
partaking.
dude, we had like closets of sheets
Somebody on the phone
because we
probably
had a
mad
sheet
about their
guy.
change.
Let's see. Hey caller, what's happening? Hello.
Well, good morning.
Good
How you
morning.
doing?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
All right. And to all them beautiful souls that hear my voice, how y'all doing?
They said they
Now,
fine.
hey, they know they in there. I wanted to know, what size shoe do you wear, Michelle?
10.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Them
Oh.
double digits. Yeah. I got them church. I got them church shoes, them soft walkers with the Velcro straps. Or do you
That's
like
what
the
you call it. That's
slide
what you
on?
felt like you needed to just press it.
My
You
man.
needed to, that's what you
Do
felt
you like
you needed to do
the
this
flap
morning.
to the left, or do you want the strap behind the heel?
Yeah. Way to defend me on them on my granddad or my daddy's short set. And he hung up with that.
I mean, because he's silly, man. He ain't got nothing else to do with his side.
Yeah.
I'm appalled, grown man calling in with jokes first thing in the morning. I'm appalled. They ain't even paying you for that. And then he talking about your shoe size is double digits. I'm like, let me let me help you. Let me help you, fam. Um, yes, I go from a 9.5 to a 10. Gained weight, I wear a 10. At my skinniest, I wear a 9. But as long as my shoes is fly, I don't care if they're 12. I want to be clear. And I do know some sisters that wear size 12. So if you think somebody care about you talking about double digits, boo, you got the wrong person.
Oh.
Long as they fly, they can be a 10 or an 11 and they comfortable. Got another caller on the line. Hey caller, what's happening?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
I heard something that was disturbing. Was
Oh.
a little disturbing to me.
Okay.
President Biden said something about I guess something about the gay people that was in the military. He gonna pardon them or some bull crap. And I'm looking like, can Negroes get a break anywhere?
What are you talking about?
I'm saying like seem like everybody getting benefits but the Negroes.
It's not no black gay people.
I mean, can we get like you had what's that chicken neck man? Oh God, what is his name? The one that said we ain't had nothing to do with the racist white folks, the whatever when we was trying to get reparations, and you had a lot of people speaking in Congress, including what's the man, Danny Glover. Well, anyway, can we get some reparations out this piece?
I mean, so okay, so thank you for the call, and I will help people understand what it is you're referring to. This was on my plate, and I will first of all say that there are black people that will benefit from this executive order or it's not even executive order. He offered clemency to individuals that had been basically convicted of being gay while they were in the military, when we had a military code that outlawed homosexuality in the armed forces. So this covers the period 1951 to 2013. There are only about 2,000 people that are going to be impacted by this. So we're not talking about tens of thousands of people. Roughly about 2,000 people were put out of the military over the course of that 60 years because of their sexual orientation. But these were people who had served this country, who had earned those benefits, who had done everything that they were supposed to do. And I don't understand how anybody is upset, particularly in 2024, about people who served on the front line, who served in Vietnam, who did tours of duty abroad, who risked their life, did the exact same work as heterosexual people. But because of my sexual orientation, you decide that I'm not going to be eligible for any of the benefits that a veteran or a person who has had a positive military work experience would be entitled to. So and there are Black people that most likely will fall into that 2000. So I just, no, I'm not somebody, I don't have a problem with that. I think it's the right thing to do. People shouldn't have been discriminated against, particularly after you've done the work. They've done the work. So thank you. I appreciate that, caller. But I 100% support what Joe Biden did. These people did the work. They did the work. And I say all the time, some of the most historic events, individuals, people in our community were gay. There is no Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream in Washington, D.C. speech without Bayard Rustin, who was gay. You know, there are just tons of ways that we understand.
450 years.
But I'm sorry, sis. I just
450 years.
Again, Black people are going
Like
to benefit from this as well. I'm not saying that we are not
450
deserving
years.
of reparations.
450 years.
Again, I'm not. And like I said, thanks for the call. I'm not gonna say that Black people are not deserving of reparations. I talk about it. I believe that we are. We are owed and do that. But that doesn't mean that other people should be denied what's fair to them as well. If people stop thinking that if somebody else gains, I lose, that's why we can't get reparations. Because of people that think if we pay these Black people what's owed to them, then we lose, we being white people. So we're going to keep figuring out how to duck, dodge, and get around the whole idea of reparations. You don't have to lose because somebody else gets housing. You don't have to lose because somebody else gets fed. Those people earn those benefits. They earned them. Now, if you wanted to have a policy banning gay people and you kept them out the military, fine. But they did the work. They showed up. And quite frankly, they put their life on the line so you could sit here today and be mad. Think about that piece. People put their life on the line for us to have these freedoms. I don't care if they're gay or not. I'm not mad at that. Okay. Let me take this call. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, my big sister in my head.
Good morning, babe. How you doing this morning, Kiva?
Good. I'm not understanding why folks got they pick this up in a bunch because they ain't go fight for us. They folks ain't winning fight for us. And I'm gonna need them to stop acting like they ain't got no gay people in they. But why do you care about who somebody's sleeping? Who got somebody in their bed? Right. And what their benefits are? If they earn those benefits, they work for them. It's due to them. That's like them saying you Black, so that's like them using our color against us.
Right.
That's why you're exactly right. That's why we can't get nowhere. We're so worried about everybody else.
And I understand people feeling like, because there have been efforts to say the LGBT community has gotten and made more advances by way of rights than the Black community. First of all, many of their rights have been secured based on legal arguments that were presented by the Black community in terms of civil rights. That's number one. They've been able to piggyback on the rights that we fought for. But number two, I'm not mad for people that fight for themselves. They fight for themselves.
How about we fight as hard as they fight? Because they fight like hell.
Yeah, I'm just saying they fight for themselves.
They come with the full gamut.
They at the table. They talking to the candidates. They making campaign contributions. They show up at the meeting. They do all of that. And so I'm not
microwave. We hot for 3 minutes, baby. After that 3 minutes, let them give them something. You know,
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it. All right, family, I gotta take a quick break. She said microwave 3 minutes. Y'all, I just can't be mad because people who were discriminated against for something they shouldn't have been discriminated against are being made whole. I'm not mad at that. And don't act like it was only white gay people that were impacted, because it wasn't. I'll be right back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. my purse, and so messages coming through. So in relationship to the conversation that Debo started about the cashier not giving him his change, but giving it to his wife, even though he handed the cashier the money, somebody said, somebody,
Wow.
so, so, somebody said, Ike Debo Turner.
Yeah. If that's what it is.
You gotta call Ike Turner.
Yeah. So it's the Ike Turner short set, right? Is that what you're trying to tie them together? Yeah, I got on the Ike Turner short set. Carvey, look, Carvey got the camera right on me too. I can see him. I can see it. Yeah.
Oh man!
Wow. Really, Carvey? You laughing, Carvey? Okay.
Dude, I got tears in my eyes. Oh my God.
All that man had to do was eat the cake.
Ike Debo Turner.
Yeah.
And what you say you got on that? Ike Turner toy. Ike Turner short.
Y'all go ahead. Have your moment. Yep. Don't we have a show to do here? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so okay. So let me just say you did get some support. One of the listeners said, now, Michelle, this is just etiquette. I learned this in the 90s. When you're supposed to get money back to who gave it to you. Now, I don't know if some things have changed, but this is just etiquette.
Ain't nothing changed.
And then one of the prayer warriors said, tell Debo to play Count Your Blessings and name them one by one, especially when you have an extraordinary woman, prayer warrior.
Wow. Them prayer warriors need to get a job or do something. What do they do with themselves?
Dude.
Shouldn't you be praying or something?
I'm so mad I didn't see that in real time when they said Ike Debo Turner. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't either.
Dude, I have not laughed till I cried in a minute. Thank you.
Whoever that text was from.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too.
Okay, let me move on. Let me move on. Okay. So a number of things happening. We know that the big debate is tonight.
Really,
Look, they said you're welcome.
Wow.
Okay. Let me stop.
Please.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do a lighter story before I do. Oh, it's a phone call. Let me go to the phone line.
They better not. They better not. He's trying to chime in.
Hey, caller, what's happening?
Okay, Michelle.
You calling back?
Do we have the
No.
socks and the chain?
Do what?
Do we have the socks and the chain? The knee-high silk socks?
Again.
No, I do not. I can answer that.
I can just see him bending over the mic with the perm.
No.
I can just smack.
No.
I'm going to smack somebody today.
Oh, that is one of my lines, though.
Carvey, have you seen Ike Turner in the short set from the movie? He really got a short set up.
With the mushroom?
Yeah. You got to look at
yeah, them silk socks.
Anderson .Paak be rocking the short set with the Ike Turner wig.
All right, man.
Thank you, bro. Y'all.
Did he have a
Man, see.
You got another caller.
Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yeah, morning, Michelle. Don't give him a hard time. Don't give him a hard time.
You ain't one of the prayer warriors, is you?
I'm gonna tell you, in the industry, when you were at a grocery store, because I worked at grocery stores before.
It's Kathy.
Yes,
Kathy.
This is Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy. You'll
Okay,
talk right. I know you'll do right.
Oh no, I'm gonna be one step above that. When you go to even to a bar, and if you ordered a drink and I give you the money, you cannot give it to that other person because they may not be an adult age. Okay, so I give the drink to the person who paid for it, and then they can pass down to the other person because if someone's watching, especially when I worked at Summerfest, and
Ain't nobody talking about alcohol.
Well, but it's the same.
That goes without
okay,
saying.
So the grocery store, whoever give you the money, you give the change back.
It ain't the same thing.
Well, okay. Well, if it's not the same thing, it's still not right. You give the money back to the person that they handed to you. So, Debo, what did you say? I would have said, well, why did you give the money to her?
No, I said, did she hand you that money?
There you go. And what did she say? Or he said?
Well, I thought she had. No, you didn't thought she gave it to you. Hand it back to who gave it to you. I bet you she didn't do it no more when I got through with it. And that was the Ike in me.
No, right. No, and that's proper because that's kind of, it's not, first of all, it's not paying any attention if she said she gave it to her because then she don't need her job or she needs some retraining on the job.
I don't want to see nobody lose their job, Kathy. I just want my change.
No, I'm just saying in general, that was really
Kathy,
really
you are all extra. Kathy.
Who is this person?
Kathy.
I mean,
Kathy. Now we want to know what store it was. What was her name? What she have on the name tag?
Kathy.
Bye, Kathy. Bye, Kathy. Thanks for your support, Kathy, but way too much.
Somebody's like, yep, he was correct for saying that. Y'all, I told y'all I was just kidding. I agree with Debo. Yeah. Y'all killing me.
Lighter story you were going to.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just thrown off. Before I talk about a disturbing story that made the papers getting a lot of attention, let me just take a second because I was watching, was it World News? Let me pull up her name. World News Tonight, and it ended honoring a airline pilot who was retiring after like 32 years on the job. And let me see. Can I play this? Debo? Sure. I'm gonna play a clip. I wasn't going to at first, but let me see if I can play this. Okay, hang on. Ready?
Our opponents, not opponent.
Wait.
May have won this round.
That's the wrong clip. Why is it not? I don't have anything else open. Hold on. Are you sure that was me? Oh, that was okay. Now let's try it. Sorry, I apologize, everybody.
My name is Captain Teresa Claiborne. I am a 787 captain for United Airlines. Piloting just happened. It was happenstance. I got a ride on a T-37, which is a military trainer. And that was when I went to ROTC. And after I got up in the air, I thought, this is what I'm going to do.
AOPA keeps flying safe, accessible, and fun by protecting your freedom to fly. We are the most trusted one-stop resource for all things related to general aviation. Become an AOPA pilot today.
I actually happen to be the first Black woman pilot in the Air Force. 7 years on active duty and 13 years in the reserves. You know, I was really blessed. I left active duty after 7 years. The day after my commitment was over, I went into the courthouse, put my hand on the Bible, raised my hand, and swore back in. I just went right into flying the KC-135 in the reserves. And then subsequently, I don't know, a year later, I was on with United. When I graduated from pilot training, I did not know that I was the first until about 2 weeks prior to graduation. And I'm very happy I didn't know, because I think that at the age of 22, I don't think I'd have been able to handle that pressure. That's a lot. I still, when I perform or when I go to work, I know that, you know, even when I'm walking through the terminal, the people stop and look like, where's she going? I'm going to work. I took my first captain bid on the 767, and then subsequently I ended up on the 787, and this is where I'll retire. Diversity is important. Some people don't want to believe that. Some people think we just want the most qualified. Well, trust me, I'm qualified. I'm looking right at the camera. I am qualified. There's no way the United States government, there's no way United Airlines would put me in control of a multi-million-dollar airplane and tell me to go fly 350 people around the world. It's not going to happen unless I'm qualified. It's important. So Sisters of the Skies, our whole thing is to promote aviation amongst women of color. And we have a saying, if they can see it, they can be it. If little black girls don't know they can be pilots, guess what? That's not something they're going to choose. We have an awful lot of women who were flight attendants and decided, I don't want to make a right turn when I walk on the airplane. I want to make a left turn. And so we're starting to see those numbers increase. That's an opportunity that we give them. It's like, this is real, and this could be you. It's a phenomenal feeling to even be associated with the Tuskegee Airmen is something special. General McGee was an amazing guy. I remember meeting him and just, without them, there would not have been me. It was hard for me. I won't lie. It was hard for me being the first Black woman. It was even harder for them. I didn't have people spitting at me. They did kind of want to separate me and put me off to the side, but there were laws that prevented them from doing some of the evil things that were done to the Tuskegee Airmen. And so the sense of pride that I have for what they accomplished, in spite of everything that was being thrown at them, I don't know what else to say except for that I'm humbled. And so to get this award with his name on it, it's like really cool.
All right, family. So I took that from an interview that Teresa Claiborne had done. But yesterday, again, after I think it's 32 years of flying, this sister is retiring, and people have been absolutely blown away at her accomplishments and the pictures of her as a young 20-year-old, 22-year-old flying this plane. First of all, beautiful sister. Beautiful, beautiful sister. And the pictures of her, and you look at the pictures and you just like trying to imagine her. You see her in her pilot's uniform, or in that case, her military uniform, jumping out of the plane and, looking back, and you just like, oh my God, what this woman accomplished. And the number of young women who are now going into piloting. And, it's something that I do. I don't care when I get on a plane, I always look. She talked about she wanted to get on a plane and go to the left, not go to the right. Go to the right. You are a, what do they call them today? Flight attendant. You go to the left, you're the pilot. And I always look to the left. You see the airline attendant that greets you when you're getting on, but I always immediately look to the left because I'm always looking to see if there's a Black pilot in the cockpit. And I've got to say, in all my years of flying, I've only seen it twice. In my entire life, I've only looked to the left and saw a Black pilot twice. Once a woman and once a man. That's it. In all my years. So when she talked about if they can see it, they can be it. Representation is important. When we are talking to our children about the things they can become, the careers that await them, this is not one that comes up. This is not one that, we think about. So being able to introduce our folks to these careers as options to young Black girls and boys, quite frankly, that these are options. That story just sent me over the top yesterday. And I have seen this sister before. And then, to hear her talk about, like, I'm standing on the shoulders of the Tuskegee Airmen and thinking about what they went through in order to fly those planes. And people looking at them and questioning their ability and their skill set. It's just one of those things that just got me yesterday, because there were two stories that I paid attention to, and I just wanted to flag them for our community. So I'm a person that when I love fashion, if you catch me, you're going to see me in sweats and a hoodie a lot, but I love clothes. I love clothes that are of a certain period. The more detail, the better. I like clean lines. So I like classic clothes. Like if you think of something that like Ralph Lauren or Dior, there are some Black designers now, the new designers that I absolutely adore, but I love clothes. And when I originally graduated from high school, I had been accepted into Baldwin's Fashion College in Atlanta. That was the goal. I wanted to be a fashion designer. And so when I came across this Black woman's name, Ann Lowe, I didn't know anything about this sister. But there are some dresses that are iconic dresses that I've had an opportunity to look at over the years. And I literally had no idea that this Black woman, Ann Lowe, was the designer behind these dresses. But let me just take a quick second. She was considered one of America's most significant designers. Born in Clayton, Alabama around 1898, and she was raised in Montgomery. Her mother and grandmother were skilled dressmakers. They sewed for wealthy white families in Alabama. They taught her how to sew as early as the age of 5. By the time she was 6, she had developed an ability to get scraps of fabric, make small, decorative flowers, and, just anything she could think of to make out of these scraps of fabric. By the time this woman was 10 years old, she was making her own dress patterns. Okay. Making her own dress patterns. So she ends up getting a scholarship and goes to school. She went to a segregated school where she was not able to sit in class with the other women that were learning how to be, designers. She had to sit in class by herself. By herself. She goes on to become one of the most prolific designers in American history. The dress that Jackie Kennedy got married in, she designed that dress. She made Jackie O's dress. There are all of these dresses that were worn by white, wealthy, elite women that this Black designer, Ann Lowe, designed. But this was the thing. They said that these wealthy women would cheat her and they would only pay her, a few $100s versus the money that these dresses were actually worth and what they would have cost them had they bought them from a white designer. And so in an interview, Ann Lowe talks about, even though you just put a dress on Jackie O, that she basically was in poverty. After she paid her staff and for supplies, she didn't really have enough money to hardly pay her bills because these wealthy social elites were robbing her. And that they kept her name out of the credits for the dress. So they talked about for Jackie O, who's married to President John F. Kennedy, when they did the big write-up on her dress, I mean, the photo spread on Jackie Kennedy's dress is crazy. They never mentioned Ann Lowe's name. When do you never talk about the designer of one of the most iconic dresses of all times? Never mentioned her name. And they said that wealthy white elite women kept her name a secret. They would pass it amongst themselves. She would make the most incredible designs. They would severely underpay her for her work. And it is just nothing short of crazy that all of these people, for years have known about this woman, didn't give her props, didn't give her accolades. And eventually she ends up, finally being recognized as one of the preeminent award-winning, designers of her day. But just understand that in 1946, there is people accepting Academy Awards for Best Actresses. The gowns they were wearing were Ann Lowe gowns. You understand what I'm saying? This woman was so cold in her day that the dresses, just think about Vogue and Vanity Fair and all of these different people, that they knew this woman was cold. And they talked about best kept secret because they didn't want to pay her right. And they didn't want her to get the credit. But everybody wanted her to design their dresses. So from party dresses to bridal gowns, in 1953, when she did Jacqueline Bouvier's, dress, come on. Incredible. So I just had to shout her out because I was watching her story yesterday, and to be able to understand, what our contributions have been. And the final thing I'll just mention, since I'm doing just a quick moment on Black history, when you go to the dry cleaners, and you get your clothes dry clean, that a brother invented that process, and we don't talk about them. The education that we miss because we won't do our own homework, we won't pay attention to our own history, we don't fight for it. Like to the conversation about the LGBT people being able to get benefits that they had deserved and earned in the military. If you don't fight for you, don't expect nobody else to fight for you. If you don't demand respect, don't expect nobody else to respect you. People fight for the things that they get. I know sometimes it seems like, oh no, you've just been given everything. And this doesn't apply to all groups, because there are some groups, they are given stuff, period. I was watching something this morning where, again, they're doing this nonsense trying to say that there are Black people that identify with Trump because he's being, handled wrongly in the judicial system. And the first thing I said was, well, who are these Black people? Because I want to sit down and have a conversation with them. Because there's nothing about the way Trump is being treated in the judicial system that mirrors anything that a Black person receives in the judicial system. Threaten a judge, talk about the judge's daughter and family, be held in contempt of court 10 times, be given preferential treatment, outburst. There's nothing in any way equivalent to any treatment that a Black person receives in a courtroom that is remotely similar to what Donald Trump has received. There is no camaraderie in grievance against the judicial system, because bros and some sisters who believe that that's how I felt, wrongly convicted, wrongly accused. Well, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You won't get to talk slick. You won't get to go out and threaten people and malign witnesses and jurors. You won't get to do none of that. Your behind would have been sitting behind bars after the first contempt charge, not just the $10,000 fine or whatever, $1,000 fine, whatever that fine was. You wouldn't be getting that treatment. And there was somebody on CNN this morning, literally, no, I've talked to the Black people who identify. Who? That's why you in trouble and been a criminal. Because if you dumb enough to believe that you and Trump have something in common based on your treatment by the judicial system, you should have been in jail. Because you dumb. Don't mean to hurt your feelings, but it's something wrong with you if you believe that in any way your struggle is Donald Trump's struggle. That y'all got something in common. Y'all have Nathan in common. Zero. Other than y'all both got a mug shot. And ask him how he got treated when he took his mug shot and how you got handled when you took yours. But that sums up the totality of who we are as Black people. And we can identify with your criminal record is just outrageous. It's nothing short of scandalous. That was like in the U.S. Senate race. You got U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin running for, re-election, and you got this guy Eric Hovde that's running against her. And I'm trying to find. Let me see if I can bring it up. How Eric Hovde made this comment because he participated in Juneteenth. Republicans got their little office down on North Avenue and King Drive, and they here for the people. And he was quoted as saying over at the Truth radio station that he is familiar with the Black culture because, wait for it, he has spent, quote, a lot of time in Africa, and because he runs, quote, homeless shelters for abandoned kids. That was Eric Hovde, who's running against Tammy Baldwin. That was his, I know Black people. I'm familiar with Black people because I've been to Africa a whole bunch of times. I'm Black and I've been to Africa one time. I don't know Black people because African Americans and Black folks in Africa is two different things. Not on the surface stuff. Don't get upset. But in traditions, practices, there are differences. You can't say I went to Ghana and Kenya and therefore I know what's going on 14th and Capitol. Experiences are different. The ignorance of this candidate saying on a radio station, and I hope that they challenged him and or clowned him, probably didn't, but they should have. I know Black people because I've been to Africa. I know Black people because I run homeless shelters. What? That's the totality of the Black experience. Do you understand why you can't send everybody? And do you understand why you can't afford to stay home? Because what if this ignorant man gets into the Senate and his relation to Black people is, I've been to Africa and I know homeless Black folks? I know the Black experience. Do you understand the difference and why we have to vote and why we have to show up? Sometimes it's to prevent the harm. I gotta take a break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Be right back.
This is State Representative Lakeisha Myers letting you know there's a special election on July 2nd for
It's classic. It's classic. Before I go to the phone line, let me read a quick text talking about Eric Hovde and the comments that he made and all of his ignorance about I know black people because I've been to Africa and I know homeless people at the shelter. Someone said he also said overweight people should pay more for their health insurance because they made a choice. And he also said folks in nursing homes are in no position mentally to vote. So you could be in a nursing home.
He said their life expectancy ain't but 6 months.
I mean, just a special brand of ignorance.
Foolishness.
I wish. And there are people that are going to go vote for him. Like, why? Okay, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How you doing, girl?
I'm straight. How you doing this morning?
All right.
It's a setup. It's a setup. Go ahead.
It's not a setup.
Oh, it's a setup. But go ahead. What you got?
I have a question to ask you.
Okay.
Can you tell me what Tammy Baldwin, just keeping it 100 now, has done or was able to bring back to the community that we, you and I, or our children or our neighbors can actually the work she's put in? Tell me what Tammy Baldwin. That's just one. Can we have a dialogue before we get into it?
Oh, of course. You know, ironically, I just interviewed Tammy Baldwin in person down at Juneteenth.
Okay.
And I had
so
to
that
tell.
makes her have a black experience.
Hang on. Okay, can I answer the question?
I'm sorry.
And I literally had to tell her that prior to me talking to her on that, what was Juneteenth on Wednesday? Prior to me talking to her, I had just had two guests on the show, different days. One, the folks over at CH Mason Clinic, who are doing the moms tour, where they're doing education resources, providing all kinds of information for young mothers and children. Tammy Baldwin brought millions of dollars to this program to be able to deal with infant mortality, Black women who are dying disproportionately in childbirth. Tammy Baldwin was behind that. I just literally had this conversation on the radio with the Black folks over at CH Mason Clinic about that particular thing.
What's the name of that program again?
I'll have to go because it's called the Moms Tour. No, I'm just saying it's called the Moms Tour. And
the Moms Tour is not. Well, go ahead.
I'm just saying.
Now, tell me what Tammy Baldwin done did. What about the man's tour? What about us? Why is about the what? See,
so you don't benefit if your wife is healthy and your daughter is able to live after her pregnancy? I mean the money that she did to also help bring infrastructure money to the state of Wisconsin. It's a whole bunch of men working because of Tammy Baldwin. You ain't seen the commercials? You haven't seen them?
No. Yes, yeah, I've seen some, and guess what? They're you know, they all of these politicians, Michelle, do the same thing.
What do they do?
They inflate what they've done when they've really done nothing. So you were able to drag out the Moms Tour.
No, I didn't drag it out. I didn't see dragging out implies that this is something old and you got to drag it out to try to make a point. This happened last week.
Okay,
it wasn't old. And there are multiple things of her record that I could run down, but I guess I'm trying to get to what's your bigger point, because there's a bigger point
right here.
What is
She's
it?
been there for how many years? And you said she did something last week.
No.
What is her relation? What was her relationship? Hold on. What was her relationship with the Senator Lena Taylor? What was her relationship with her? With the honest truth now.
The honest truth is that our office worked hand in hand with Senator Baldwin's office on any issue that we needed. And when I say one of the most responsive legislators that we have ever worked with, when we sent a constituent issue to her, it got addressed immediately.
Sounds good. Now I got one more.
See, you don't want to hear the answers though.
No,
you put the questions out there. So let me just say, her relationship with Senator Taylor by way of work was excellent.
Okay, now was there ever any fallout between those two?
Not that I'm aware of.
No disagreements at all?
Not that I'm aware of. What else you got?
Not that you're aware of.
I mean, because I'm trying to get to your point, bruh. First is she ain't did nothing for men. Then she ain't did nothing for nobody. Like, what's your point,
How many
bruh?
years have Tammy Baldwin been there?
I mean, what is the point?
The point is she been sitting up there on her do nothing, sweetie, doing what
you know
she
what?
been
That's
doing.
that's not how that works. And all this stuff is easy to fact check. All you got to do is put in her name and legislative record.
That's right.
And you can get all the bills that this woman has sponsored, co-sponsored, introduced. You can get all of them.
That's right.
And it's pages and pages of it.
You're right.
I'm sorry, man.
No, we got one more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing, because you're giving me enough time already. You talked about what black people got in common with Donald Trump. You talked about that, right? Now, let me share this with you. The black man, our plight has always been to go with the underdog. That's why you're sitting over there in a very what do you call it, progressive state of thinking, because you want to fight for the underdog.
I'm not fighting for the underdog. I'm fighting for us.
No, okay. Well, you say us because we've been mistreated. We've been had, so to speak. We've been duped. We've been hoodwinked. So check this out now. It's in our nature. That's the reason why most ethnic groups come get us, because we're loud, radical, and very emotional about most issues.
We're loud and we're radical and we're emotional. That's how you're gonna describe black folks?
No, hold on.
That's how you're gonna describe us?
There's nothing wrong
loud, radical, and emotional.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
We are speaking up for our rights. I don't know why that's characterized as loud.
How do you do that without being radical?
I mean, you can.
How do you do that without being emotional?
I mean, but is that the way you're describing every other group, though?
Okay, no.
Because you said that's why they come for us, which made it seem like that's unique to us. That's
right.
It's not unique to us. So they wasn't loud and radical and emotional when they was tearing up the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
Hold on. Can I say? Hold on.
That wasn't loud, radical, and emotional.
You asked me to prove a point.
Go ahead.
You asked me to prove a point. Now,
Go ahead.
Okay, listen. We ain't worried about what they was doing up there in the Capitol.
But you worried about what we do.
Hold on. No. You asked us what we got in common with old Donald Trump.
I really want to get to
make black men say, "Hey, man, dude."
I really want to get to what's your ultimate point? Not to vote for Tammy Baldwin. What's your point?
The ultimate point is that the black man is always going to be the spokesperson for the underdog. It's not that we got nothing in common with Donald Trump besides maybe a mug shot.
Donald Trump is not an underdog. What are you talking about? Why would any black person be a spokesperson for Donald Trump as if he's an underdog? What underdog is Donald Trump?
The same black people that was a spokesperson for Bill Clinton
getting
caught up in the White House. Getting caught in the White House with that girl.
That's not
the one that came out and said, "Leave that man alone."
Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
The same thing.
No, it's not, because you had people that were working with Bill Clinton.
Did we go to
that advocated for Bill Clinton? Hey, you got bros on the streets who don't know nothing about Donald Trump but the fake facade that has been presented to them, and then people trying to tell them we relate to Donald Trump because of our criminal backgrounds. We got a shared, struggle. It's not the same thing.
There's over 500 or 600 songs with people talking about Donald Trump.
Because unfortunately, they got bamboozled because they thought dude was way richer than he really was, and they didn't really. These people were undereducated about who this dude was. That's it.
You ever say I'm getting money like Trump?
I've never said that. I've never been a fan of Donald Trump because I lived in New York. I know the history. See, that's the thing. You say stuff like that when you ignorant of the facts. I was raised in New York.
Thought he was cool.
No, sir. I was raised in New York and knew the history. And then I watched The Apprentice and watched him be racially discriminatory towards the brother. No, sir. When you educated, you don't say dumb stuff. on
Well,
the issues.
okay.
I was educated on the issues. Thank you,
Well,
bro.
how
I
do you-
appreciate
well,
the
see, what
call.
about the people that are not educated on the issues?
They're miseducated, undereducated, ain't educated, whatever you want to do and put in front of educated, that means not. That's what you can say. Because anybody that's educated on this man and his behavior and his treatment of black people, you don't sit up and support him. I don't know how no black man, just on the sole strength of what he did to the brothers in the Central Park rape situation, and still not man enough to this day to come back and say I was wrong. How do black men get behind this nonsense?
Listen,
Thank you, bro. I gotta go.
Agree with you.
I gotta go.
Agree with you.
I gotta go.
I have to agree with you.
I appreciate it. I don't mean to be rude. I got another caller and I got an interview, but I'm sorry. And I don't like that. It feels like I'm beating up on black men that support Donald Trump. I am, but I don't like that it feels like it. Because I definitely don't understand it. I don't understand it. You know, because I'm not interested in your personal individual wealth. I'm interested in the collective health of our community. As I said, I know tons of black men that are doing very well financially who would say, if it was just about financial and economic policy, I'm riding with Donald Trump because he's going to make sure that the rich stay rich. But everybody in my family is not rich. Collectively, my community is not doing well with somebody who has the ideology, philosophies, and policies of a Donald Trump. And that's when I get frustrated and get mad with bros, because I'm like, when do y'all stand and turn around and look out for your damn people? As black men, when do you stand up for us? While you busy crying and whining about ain't nobody did nothing for you, when do you stand up for us? Bruhs that support Donald Trump. When do you stand up for us as a collective? As a collective. When you understand that there are people that would rather see black men incarcerated than free. And then they sit up and sell you this bag of goods about I'm being mistreated as I get more privilege as a convict than you gonna get with no record whatsoever. I don't understand that. I don't understand where brothers lost their way and their vision and they don't appreciate how our community suffer under some of these policies. I don't understand that. I don't understand what in you does not see. His cabinet didn't look a damn thing like the people that listen to this radio station, other than Ben Carson, ignorant behind in terms of being put over HUD. I don't understand that. None of his trusted confidants was a brother or a sister. It was all for show. Omarosa's hire for show. Y'all ain't at the table. You always on the menu. All them silly black pastors that ran they behind up to DC. You was used. You didn't get nothing. Your parishioners get nothing. But you got an invitation to the White House. You got close to the man. But your parishioners still trying to figure out how they're going to keep their lights on, and how they're going to put their children through college, and how they're going to be able to buy a house. But you sitting up here talking to me about somebody who has tried to figure out how to snatch the rights away from women and black people at every turn. What does Joe Biden say? Promises fulfilled. Donald Trump, promises broken. Then you go get, black college students and line them up at a damn Chick-fil-A, because that's where you Negroes go, is to get you some damn chicken. All the political stops this man could have made down in Georgia, he chose to do it at a chicken restaurant. And then you got these black people standing there supposed to be college educated, allowing themselves to be used in this capacity. What's wrong with y'all? Every place this man could have gone, he went to the chicken restaurant to have a photo op with black folks. All you needed was watermelon rinds sitting on the counter. But you don't see that. You don't appreciate that. Bruhs. what did they say? Eric Hovde was on Tory Lowe's show, and it was a soft interview. No pushback. But you out here, you a champion for the community, though. I ride or die for black folks. But you got people putting policies in place that's crushing us. And they can come to your station and sit on your mic and get a pass. I lose my job because I ain't giving nobody a pass. But you, Mr. Activist, let this white man get on here who talks about his connection to Negroes is I've been to Africa and I work with the homeless, and you don't get challenged on that. You look at these people's offices and staffing, who works for them, who gets elevated. We not at the table. We are used. But no, black man, come into the Republican Party because this is where you'll be uplifted and respected. You're not going to get no real job. Not going to get that. Not a single person in the inner circle in Donald Trump's orbit when he was president was black. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get no meaningful positions. We're getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion at the federal level. He was the first person to do it. The Republicans around the country followed suit, but he was the first person to do it. Black women dying in childbirth and because of failure to have access to services, and he sits up and brags that, yeah, I took away those rights. I stacked the court with the right justices to come in here and tell y'all basically the civil rights don't have to be respected in terms of voting. That, yep, discriminatory practices, it's okay. We gut the 1965 Voting Rights Act. I get to do that. Y'all don't understand. And I'm gonna say this before I go to the phone line. I'm so glad you Negroes wasn't the ones that was working with us after Reconstruction and the ones that was helping us get free. I'm glad it wasn't y'all, because we'll still be enslaved with this mentality. I'm glad it wasn't y'all. Everybody can't come. What Harriet Tubman tell her brother, you open your damn mouth, I'm gonna shoot you on sight. Everybody can't come. Some of y'all is weak and need to stay at the house. Everybody cannot come. You Negroes that have us still in slavery. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle.
Hey.
Take a breath, baby. Take a breath. Hey, in talking to Meech and listening to him call in over these years, you've heard the term unconscious racism versus conscious racism.
Yes.
Okay. You can see clearly that the Republicans and Trump are playing to black people's unconscious stupidity as well as our conscious stupidity. And Meech is a great example of that. He's a perfect example of unconscious stupidity. I mean, you say he do things in the community. I don't know the man, but just listening to him and listening to what Tory Lowe is doing, and they also remind Tory Lowe and the well-to-do blacks that you talk about remind me of Curtis Mayfield's saying of educated fools from uneducated schools. I mean, to fall for what these Republicans and Trump are putting out here and willing to go to the mat for them to bring down our race along with it. I mean, I'm not going out like that. And I will tell them to their face, you just some damn fools. And you're not taking me with you. If you want to ride with Trump, them, and let them take you down like that, we ain't going to let him get in office. You got to ride with him another way. Because anybody listening to this station that is not consciously stupid or unconsciously stupid and has any kind of brain, you know what's in store if Trump gets elected. And look what Eric Hovde is talking about. I run this, and I know African people. He don't know nothing about none of us. None of them do. If they let us come to the table, they could learn about us. but they don't want us at the table because they think they know what's best for us. Like we don't know what's best for us. So when you listen to these fools like Meach calling in, that's just it's either conscious or unconscious stupidity. And to appeal to the criminality, I mean, when you put unconscious stupidity along with criminal minds, like Trump is saying, they love my mugshot. He ain't said what he gonna do for them. They love this about me. What you gonna do for him? He goes to a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta. Atlanta's the black business hub of this country. He couldn't go to no black business and hold a news conference, which is crazy. And you got these college students meeting him at a Chick-fil-A. That's unconscious stupidity. They're in college, supposed to be higher learning, and they go to a chicken place to stand out there and say, "Eyes with you, Mr. Trump." I mean, where are we headed?
That was exactly the equivalent of what happened.
Yeah.
Eyes with you.
Eyes with you, Mr. Trump. And they're in college, in the HBCUs, that teaches them what people like Trump and his thoughts and their ideology has done to us since we got off the boat in 1619. I mean, what do we have to take clubs and beat them over the head? What do we got to do to bring them to some conscious level of sanity? Because this is totally insane.
All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate your call. And I'm just saying, as we sit here and listen to this kind of rhetoric be, espoused on Juneteenth, because this happened in an interview. And you just sit here and I'm looking at Tory like, bruh, the comeback was what? What did you say in response to this man saying, I know black? This mess made national news. MSNBC was covering this. It made national news what this idiot said about I know black people. Because I got homeless shelters for abandoned kids. No, you making money off abandoned children and people that's homeless. Just like folks say, oh, there's no money in foster care. You a tale. You a lie. That white couple that they have now gotten, where was this couple at? That they went into the home and 5 black kids. Oh, what was that story? 5 black children had been adopted by this white couple, well-to-do white couple on the farm. They was keeping them locked up in sheds outside. Modern day slavery. And the kids were being forced to work the land like you straight up thought you was down in Mississippi or Alabama picking cotton. This just happened. And a neighbor, thank God, the woman's name, the wife, Janine Whitefeather, sound like she got an indigenous name, but they said she a Caucasian. I don't know how your last name get to be Whitefeather and be white. But Janine Whitefeather and Donald Lance adopted 5 black children from a shelter and made them do farm labor and kept them locked up in a shed, little shanty, like where you would keep your tools out behind their house. This was in West Virginia. And thank God for the neighbor who was looking over there like, what in the world is going on? And the neighbor called for a wellness check on these children. What social worker was turning these black kids over to these white folks? And this is the thing, because once you adopt them, ain't nobody coming back out to the house. I'm only coming while they still in foster care. I just don't understand. I don't understand how people purport to be down for this community and see people harming our community and figure out a way to justify it. Barack Obama couldn't even get his name on a ballot if he had any of the crap going on in his personal life that Donald Trump got going on. But you identify with Donald Trump and a trash Obama? I gotta take a break. I'll be right back.
Attention all all vendors and community partners. Get ready to showcase your services and make meaningful connections at WNOV. Back to Say Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All right, family, we got some callers on the line. Welcome back to the show. I'm also, just so people know, we are expecting a guest caller at 8:30 this morning. So callers, you're going to try to get them in? Okay, so callers, what I need you to do is I'm not going to come to you. We're going to try and figure out if we can get our guest on the line. And in the meantime, let me just make sure I mention this because, in talking about brothers, a brother that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, Brother Darrell Williams, who is a educator and has done a ton for young people in the state of Wisconsin, is one of the finalists for the interim superintendent position with MPS. There's actually going to be a panel discussion tonight. It's called Understanding MPS Part 1. Darrell Jackson, current MPS school board member, Aisha Carr, former MPS school board member, Angela Harris, Black educator and activist, have are part of this panel, there is a Zoom link. I will get it posted before I walk out of the station to my Facebook page. And let me see if there's another place you can find it. If you go to Zoom and type in Understanding NPS, you'll see the Zoom information to be able to register for this event as well. For folks that are familiar and comfortable with Zoom, all you got to do is type in Understanding NPS, and it should come up so that you have the ability to be able to listen to this panel discussion tonight. Okay, so as we are, making the transition to welcome my guest, I started the show off by saying that tonight, the debate that we will see historic in a number of a number of ways. When you talk about a former U.S. president debating a current U.S. president, never been done before. When you look at the fact that this is probably the earliest we've ever seen a debate between the presumptive nominees for both parties being held, never been done before. When you look at the structure of the debate itself, the fact that there will not be a live audience, not been done before, in great part because of, I believe the ignorance of Donald Trump and the way that he behaved in the last debate. It is going to be, for people that are still trying to make up their mind. People are saying that there is a lot riding on the debate. I'll get you the information. The person that's texting me about NPS. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. It is at 6:00 tonight for the person that is watching and listening to get that information. We got our guest. We're still waiting. Oh, okay. We can put her on. Hey, Jasmine, how are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
I am good. I am good. Thank you for joining us. Taking a minute to talk about the debate tonight. And you're with the Biden campaign, right?
Correct. I'm the National Black Media Director.
Okay, perfect. I remember we had the conversation before.
Yeah.
I know you can wear a number of hats, so I wanted to make sure, we were on the same page right now. But in relationship to the debate tonight, so we have been doing a lot of prep work and talk with the community about, what to expect, what to look for, what to listen for, as people that may still be on the fence, people that were thinking about sitting this one out, are trying to decide if they are hearing what they need to hear to be comfortable in going to cast a vote for either of these candidates. There's been a lot of talk about the uniqueness of this particular debate situation. First time ever, a former president and a current president debating one another. The first time that this early in the process, presumptive nominees will be debating one another. The lack of an actual audience for this first debate. When you think about it, particularly as a media individual, Jasmine, what are the things that you're paying attention to coming into this debate?
For sure. I think, especially as it relates to Black voters, we're a show me people. We want proof of what you've done for us and what you plan to do. And the good thing about having a current president and a former president debating each other is that you have two records that you could compare in what they're saying to you. And so let's start off with Donald Trump. During his time in office, he divided the nation because he's a racist. The Black unemployment rate skyrocketed. The amount of Black Americans without health insurance was at an all-time high. Every chance he could, he was a very selfish person. He couldn't lead us through the pandemic. Black folks were disproportionately left dead because of his inability to lead. Black-owned businesses were shattered. He told us to inject ourselves with bleach during the pandemic. You compare that with Joe Biden. From the moment that he set foot in the White House 4 years ago, himself and the vice president made specific promises to the Black community, and they've delivered on those promises. We have millions of new jobs created for Black workers. We have a record low Black unemployment rate. We have Black-owned small businesses now starting up at the fastest rate in generations. We have billions forgiven in student loan debt, directly working to close the racial wealth gap because we know that it is our people who disproportionately have to take out loans. They protected Obamacare. Now we have more Black Americans with health insurance than we've ever had before. And so tonight, it's a great chance for Black America to hear them out. Joe Biden has delivered for us. Donald Trump hasn't, and he's a racist. And so you'll see that portrayed on the debate stage today. You have two records to compare, and you'll hear one very selfish, erratic man in Donald Trump try to, make up for the fact that he has such a horrible record. And you'll have a strong and steady leader in Joe Biden get on that stage and continue to talk about how he has delivered and will continue to deliver for the American people.
Jasmine, this is the issue though, and one of the things that I'm paying attention to. So they are hoping Donald Trump's handlers are hoping that they can get him to stick to the script because they feel like the economy, immigration are two of his strongest areas that resonate with the American people. People want something done about the border and who's getting into the country, and that for some reason people believe that under Donald Trump that they did better. Where is the disconnect between when you start the laundry list of things that the Biden-Harris administration has done by way of propping up the economy and growing the economy? Our numbers have, are at record lows in terms of unemployment in most communities. Like, how is it that the Trump people can walk away and believe that they own the game on the economy?
I think that that's just the selfishness and the arrogance of Donald Trump. And I also think that, as Black people, we have to understand, yes, there have been a ton of people who have had their student loans forgiven and, have been able to put their kids through college or go back and get a secondary degree or buy that house that they've always wanted to buy. Not everybody has had their loans forgiven yet. Not everybody has been able to find that job yet. And that's why it's even more imperative that we keep Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in office, because we know that there's only one candidate on that stage tonight that's going to continue making progress for our community, that's going to continue building on the work that they've already done, and that's Joe Biden. Donald Trump has never given a damn about Black people, and he's definitely not going to start if he gets 4 more years to be president. He is only going to work to make our lives worse. And so as folks are paying attention to what they're both saying and paying attention, really doing your research on the record of both of these one leader and one selfish man, you have to really understand that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have put Black people at the forefront of their administration like we've never seen before. And we definitely won't see that with Donald Trump getting 4 more years.
And, one of the things that I have been saying in my conversations behind the scenes with people when they talk about, what went on under the Trump economy, I said that was the Biden-Obama economy. I mean, the Obama-Biden economy that positioned, the victory laps that he was taking on some of the initiatives and things that were being done. The hard foundational work had already been laid by Biden and President Obama when they were running, the country for those 8 years. So it's just like Biden has been on the front end of that economy and on the back end of where we are today. And it's like people seem to forget, even when they say, well, Obama set the stage. Obama and Biden set the stage for what Donald Trump, he got handed the keys to a house that was completely furnished when he came into power. And people give him credit, I think, for an economy that he did not necessarily do the foundational work to create. That is so frustrating to me. But when we talk about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I also think people fail to forget that the tax breaks, everything that Donald Trump put in as it relates to the economy during his time in office was to look out for rich people like himself,
exactly,
and his rich friends. He did not look out for anybody. He did not look out for the working class people. He definitely didn't look out for Black people who go to work every day, send our kids every day, are trying to find money to send our kids to college. He does not care about us. He's not going to support or put forth policy that has our backs in the way that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have and will continue to do if given 4 more years.
So let me just take a second on the my colleagues were just teasing me yesterday because optics is one of my favorite words ever, and but the optics of it all. They're talking about the close proximity that these two men will be in to one another, like I think less than like 8 feet or something. They said they could literally reach out and touch each other's podium. They'll be that intimately positioned. The fact that there will be no live audience, and people have said that could work for or against a Trump who feeds off the energy from the crowd. But maybe if the crowd's not there, it keeps him more focused. There's been a lot of talk about the preparation that's gone into it. And Joe Biden has been at Camp David going through, a litany of issues, policy discussions with his team. What do you think, about even the backdrop of the optics of this whole thing with the changes in the way this debate has been laid out?
Like I said, I'm one of those people. I'm a show me person. I think Black people, for our community, traditionally, we're show me people. It doesn't matter if they 5 feet apart, 10 feet apart, they on the top of the Empire State, but it doesn't matter where they are. What have you done? And what are you going to do for our people to make our lives better? And there's only one candidate on that stage, Joe Biden, who has a record to put forth to show us, and who cares about and values us in a way that he will continue building on that. And that's exactly what we're going to see on that stage tonight from him. And what we're going to see from Donald Trump is what we've always seen. He's going to be erratic. He's going to be a racist. He's going to be selfish. We can't, there's nothing about Donald Trump that exudes leadership.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you made a couple of minutes available for us this morning. It is good to kind of, understand what we're walking into, what we should be paying attention to. I think the last thing I would say, for folks that have said that, I don't even know if I'm going to watch the debate. What is there a reason why they should?
Yeah, because democracy is at stake. Black people, we know that when policy is initiated and created, we get the brunt of it. We always get the worst of it. And so it's so imperative, especially in this election, when you quite literally have a racist running for president, that you watch, that you pay attention, and that you show up in November for the candidate who has your best interest at heart and the best interest of the generations after us at heart. And that's Joe Biden.
All right, Jasmine, I appreciate you taking time for us this morning. I will be looking forward. I'm going to one of the watch parties tonight, so I'll be looking forward to the debate, and it'll be interesting to see how things go. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, now. All right, family, let me take a quick break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Be right back.
You know one thing about Biden?
Here you go again.
When he makes a promise, he keeps it.
Okay, like what?
He got us out of the pandemic, got the country
and different folks that are coming to town. Want to make sure people are aware of. But let me start with this. There is something happening today down at City Hall, the inaugural Advocacy Day. So we know that at the state capitol, we do Black Advocacy Day. We bring in people from around the state, bring in, political and civic leaders from around the nation to come in to talk to, Black constituents, Black allies, hold workshops, panels, and try to make it an opportunity for Black people to step into the Capitol, state capitol, who typically have never been there. So at the city level, Common Council members Malele Coggs, Andrea Pratt, Charlene Moore, Larissa Taylor, they are inviting the public to attend the first Advocacy Day at City Hall. This is taking place from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it should be underway as soon as I get off the air today. And there are going to be workshops that support self-advocacy in the areas of housing, business, and safety. Various city departments will provide valuable knowledge on available resources. And so I've gotten a lineup kind of what some of those resources are. So there's a business workshop that's happening right away at 9:35 this morning, starting and maintaining a business in terms of the city, housing workshop, safety workshop, are the things that I see mentioned. The event is free, open to the public. And I just want to thank Alderwoman Charlene Moore because I saw it and I just had mentioned it. And I was like, it was on my radar to mention it. And Alderwoman Charlene Moore flagged it for me again this morning. Like, look, make sure you let people know that this is happening today. Happy to do that. I would also encourage alders, if you haven't, availed yourself of it, that you come in and you talk to the community too, and let people know what's happening and what to expect. But I am glad that she flagged it for me this morning because I did see it and I have forgot to reference that. Another thing that's happening that I want to make sure people are aware of, we know that campaigns have surrogates that come into town to talk about their respective candidates, the issues that people ought to be focusing on, and I just want to make sure that people know one of my all-time favorite people. So a number of you have heard of Congressman James Clyburn. Some folks call him Jim Clyburn, out of Mississippi. When Joe Biden, I'm sorry, I said Mississippi, out of South Carolina. When Joe Biden was, struggling in the polls, and there was a decided shift, and people decided, okay, we riding with Biden. Black people, okay, we looked at everybody. This is where we gonna land. Without fail, people talk about that James Clyburn was extremely instrumental in making that happen and what he did in South Carolina. When we talk about a VP pick that's a person of color, James Clyburn is at the table in the ear of Joe Biden helping to make that happen. When we talk about African American female being appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court, James Clyburn is in the room at the table advocating and pushing for this. This man is a force in and of himself. He is actually going to be in Milwaukee on Monday. It looks like I may have an opportunity to even talk to him. But if you are someone that pays attention to politics, you want to be able to see and meet the players, particularly the African Americans that are giving voice to our concerns. There is an event that is happening. And I'm going to get information to see if it is open to the public to be able to join Jim Clyburn in Milwaukee to be able to hear from this man. But if nothing else, we're going to try to get him on the radio station on Monday for a conversation. Either he'll talk to me or Keith, somebody, but we got to snag him while he's in town to be able to talk to this incredible history maker and advocate and champion on behalf of all things, right, all things Black, all things civically important. Another event that I want to make people aware of is, so I don't know if I just ask you right off the top of your head, real quick, how many Black governors have there been in this nation's history? How many would you say? All y'all listening at home, how many Black governors have we had? We've had 2 until the election of Maryland's Governor Wes Moore. We've had 2. He is number 3. In the history of this country, we have only had 3 Black people to be governor of a state in this country. And Governor Wes Moore is actually going to be in town this weekend. He is going to be over at Carver Park, which is 911 West Brown Street. There is going to be a cookout, a 90s R&B cookout. Just engaging people, talking to them about the importance of being, voting, being at the table, what's at stake in this upcoming election. And this is an opportunity for you to meet another history maker. Only the third. How many of us will be able to say we've met any of the Black people that have been governor in this country? You can't, except for those folks that met Dinkins. You can't. So free food, music, good conversation. They are asking the community to come out, meet Governor Wes Moore. He is going to be moving throughout the city and the state while he is here this weekend. Going to be surprising people at where he shows up, but at no cost. Just the opportunity, even to be able to bring your children and say, there've only been, ask your kids, how many Black governors have we had in the United States? And then take them and say, I'm taking you to meet the third one. So at 4 p.m. over at Carver Park, 911 West Brown Street, I'm encouraging people, make time to stop through and see this brother. If I don't do nothing but go stop by and get a picture, because this is history, whether we understand it and appreciate it, because it does not happen every day. It does not happen every day. I'm over the top. And Wes Moore is one of the coolest brothers ever. Like, you meet him and you just like, I understand how you got elected. I understand why you've made history in this way. So put these events on your radar. There was one more I wanted to mention real quick before I get out of here. I did the MPS the panel discussion that's virtual tonight. I'll get that posted on my Facebook page. I promise, before I walk out the door. Hang on. Okay. I will get that done as much as I can in terms of getting posted. But y'all, we cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. We got to drag our family members kicking and screaming. I'm going to encourage you to do that for the upcoming election that's happening next week. Next week, the special election for Lena Taylor's former 4th Senate District seat, the special, is happening. There will be another election in August for that exact same seat. Y'all, we got to show up. I'm going to get out the way, let my man and my colleague Keith Paris get to the mic. Debo.
I want my change. That's all I got to say about that.
Tell your man.
Eat the cake, anime.
Tell your man who hooked up your gear.
Leave that alone now.
We appreciated
I got a guy.
We appreciated it today.
Yeah, good.
Carvey, appreciate you back. Carvey tired, y'all. He was out performing, making us money for breakfast.
Tricking, as you say.
He wasn't tricking. He was making money.
Why when Keith is out, he tricking? But if Carvey out, he ain't tricking.
Because it's Keith.
Oh, okay.
I got to get out the way. I'll talk to y'all. Oh, I'm done for the week.
You are.
I'll talk to y'all Monday.
There you go.
Peace.
A better solution.